Those girls they're going to take up to Mars, they're going to have it pretty great, huh?
It's 100 men to every woman. That's sounds like a nightmare. Worse odds than being in the military.
It's like Washington back in World War II.
Actually it was the other way around. It's like 20 girls for every guy. Since when can you remember the Second War?
Doctor, I had a question. So if Mars is a planet of all men, aren't they going to be, why would they be bothering to come down here to get our women?
Gentlemen, I have left some students who are seriously trying to figure out about themselves and their environment, and came here on the request of my government, because I thought I could be of some service to you. I agreed to this interview because of my special interest in education, should throw some light on the situation at hand. But obviously, you think this is a big joke. So unless anyone can come up with any pertinent questions about the emergency situation, this interview is over.
Dr. Bolin. Fast, Seattle Sun-Times. There's been a lot of talk about breaking codes, the new discoveries regarding the structure of DNA molecules and the number of chromosomal factors involved in genetics. Doesn't this suggest that what happened on Mars could happen here?
Well, it looks like one newspaper sent a medical reporter instead of an ambulance chaser. That's correct, Mr. Fast. The public is not yet fully informed on DNA and our attempts to break the genetic code. However, experience with white mice mutations have thrown a new light on dominant or recessive nature of these mutants, at least to establish a possibility of imbalance in ratio of births.
So, Doctor, you're saying that these Martians are some kind of space mutants? I mean, are we talking about bug-eyed science fiction creatures?
No, Mr. Stemmons. It's just that a real insight into genetics is not possible without an understanding of genetic mutation. Now, it's very presumptuous to believe that Martians are going to be any different than we are. It's merely a freak in their genetic code that has brought them to this planet, and I'm sure they don't plan to harm us, at least not yet. And if you will now excuse me, I need to prepare for a meeting tomorrow at Monitor 1.
Hey, Fast. I'd like a word with you. Say, Fast, you really made a monkey out of those guys. Now, I'm afraid some of us just can't take this all together seriously. I mean, what do you think about this Martian thing?
I think it's a strange vanity that makes us think we're the only ones in the solar system.
You know, you make a lot of sense. Why don't you join me in Monitor 1 tomorrow? I can get you a pass, and I could certainly use an interpreter with all the scientific mumbo-jumbo they've got there. What do you say?
It would be a pleasure.
Great. See you tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, Fast.
For what?
For keeping this session from being completely useless. I mean, after my long flight and millions of jokes about sex in space, I just feel like...
You're pushed.
Yeah, that's the word for it. Oh, please don't go.
Aren't you tired?
Well, emotionally, yes, but I don't think I could sleep a wink if I tried. I mean, all this scientific thinking, I just wish I could be as far away from it as possible. You know, I've never seen this show before. I don't think I've even been up this late.
Neither have I.
The rock and roll plan is to be as cool as you can. Rock and roll friends, check each other's books back in. And rock and roll friends, check each other's books back in. Rock and roll friends, check each other's books back in. Rock and roll friends, check each other's books back in. Rock and roll dance.
I'm sorry, Mr. Fast, but there's too much commotion for me to remain in my sleep state. If you could kindly lower your voice and refrain from percussing your hands, then I could return to sleep without any ill effects.
We're sorry. We'll refrain from making noise.
Stayed up all night working on my secret toothpaste project. Think I'll call it the Toothpaste Spectacular. Note to self. Number 1, tell no one of Toothpaste Spectacular.
I didn't realize I was so loud. Sorry.
That's okay. It's probably because you drank so much.
Yeah, I did drink a bit much. Would you walk me to my hotel room? I mean, when was the last time you took a pretty girl for a walk? A pretty girl with a PhD?
I'd be glad to.
We've only known one another less than 5 hours.
It's like Einstein always said, time is relative.
Yeah, the first hour seemed like a week. And then the second hour seemed like 5 days. And then the third hour, it seemed like a week again. And then the fourth hour seemed like 8 days. And then you had to stop to use the restroom, and that took 10 minutes. But that felt like 2 days.
Lady, from the moment I saw you standing, whoa, all alone. Lady of the morning, love shine.
You're late.